it play and call it work.
Hey there, MiniWarGamers. Quirk here with this week's Sit and Talk, and I've got Josh with me. He's going to be reading the questions. Makes life easier, and that way I don't stumble all over the words, like the big words.
I can stumble over the big words.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll embarrass myself on my poor reading skills.
Don't forget, guys, next week is going to be Dave's turn for the Sit and Talk, so if you have any questions, be sure to put Dave at the beginning of it, and then your question or comment there, so that way he knows it's addressed to him. And if you want to answer or direct any questions or comments back to me to rectify for this video, just start it off with Quirk. I think they're mostly going to be for Dave. Yep. But anyway, let's get started with the first 30 minutes. And yeah, get the timer going here. Okay.
Okay, question number 1 from Flatfoot. Hey Quirk, would you rather fight one Steve-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Steves?
I think it would be 100 duck-sized Steves. Actually, no, ducks are pretty big, actually.
Ducks are a decent size.
Yeah, they got some...
You want to fight 100 little Steves?
No, I wouldn't. Let's go with one Steve-sized duck.
That'd be a big duck.
That'd be a huge duck. Neither of these options are good.
No. Have you ever been bit by a duck?
No, I don't plan to be.
Yeah, they actually bite pretty hard.
Oh, okay. I'm sticking with the duck-sized Steve.
Okay, next question.
Reverse that. See, Steve-sized duck.
Okay. Next question is from Aerith.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Quirk, I've started doing my own video bat reps and publishing them on YouTube. What advice, if any, would you have for a new content creator?
Well, it kind of depends on what it is you're doing. I'm assuming it's going to be for 40K, because that's the most popular one.
I didn't actually say either way.
No? Okay. I don't know what game it's for, but I'm going to assume 40K just for the simplicity's sake if I have to refer back to the game you're playing. Easiest thing to do if you want to, like, the one thing you want to do is you want to build your likes and you want to build your subscribers. And the easiest way to do that is just getting those videos out on very popular websites. So you've got things like Bell Lost Souls, Daka, there's the partner program on our website. Just getting them up there so that people can actually see your videos and start watching them. And then once that starts to happen, you're going to start rolling in a little bit of subscribers, getting those likes. And the thing is, when people like your video, if they have a channel, it actually shows up on their channel that you liked it, and it gets more people watching your videos. It starts to build up that little community that kind of starts to watch and enjoy your particular filming style and your particular battle reports. And that way you can start to build up a nice little network. And I keep saying little, but the thing is, it grows really quickly.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Well, then you're smart with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Next one is from Castle Duck. Quirk, I recently stopped by and saw you and Josh playing X-Wing, and was curious if you prefer playing X-Wing to Armada and why.
Oh, this was the guy in the green suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Boston guy?
Yeah. I liked him. I prefer X-Wing.
You prefer X-Wing?
I prefer X-Wing.
Okay, now why do you prefer X-Wing then?
It has more to it, I think, is the main reason why. It's got a lot more options available to it. You've got more ships, you've got more upgrades. And
it's a more fully developed game. You're saying like there's more releases?
Yes, there's more to it in that sense. And then on top of all of that, it's also got a lot more... I find it's a faster game. Not for like the playtime, but I feel like the actual maneuvers and everything you do feels a lot faster, whereas Armada, it's very... I'm going to shoot with this arc, and then I'm going to shoot with this arc, and I'm going to move at speed 2 and bank to here. Okay, now you get to do the same thing. It feels like the ships are... They designed the game really well, but it feels like the big ships are moving very slowly, which they're supposed to be, because they're supposed to be huge ships, like traveling through space. Whereas X-Wing feels like a skirmish game where you're flying these really, really fast, tiny, compared to the size of the ones in Armada, but the tinier ships, and having these squadron battles, it feels like you're actually having a battle that you'd see in a Star Wars movie. So.
Cool. Unpure. Hey Quirk, will you be releasing MiniWarGaming brand hot dogs? Keep up the good work and love the morning drives.
Thank you. We should make some hot dogs.
Oh God.
Just watch Steve Buke.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna happen one day.
Okay, Danks. Hey Quirk. With Battlefleet Gothic Armada coming out soon, is there any chance of seeing a tabletop game or two of Battlefleet Gothic? Would be interesting to see it. Never seen the game played.
I think there's been just like the talk around the office of possibly doing it as a like a once or twice type game, just as like a show. Yeah, just to kind of showcase it a little bit. It's a very fun game. Like the actual mechanics of the game are very well thought out. So if Games Workshop doesn't fiddle with those too much, it's actually going to be a really, really clean game.
What if they do fiddle? Because they looked at doing some work to some of the older games. So I'm curious if Battlefleet Gothic's going to get some love, because that was my favorite game. I only played it a couple times, but it's a really cool setup.
Yeah, it's a very, very fun game. I'm hoping that they, like I said, I hope they don't fiddle with the rules too much. I'm hoping they do, just to kind of make it a little bit faster, because it does have that very slow feel to it. Like there's a lot of little steps in between. But I hope they kind of clean that up a little bit. But I like the actual core aesthetics to it, where it's like you can actually bank around a planet, use the gravitation to speed yourself up. There's all the ramming mechanics, everything like that. It's very fun. It feels like you're the commander of a giant Imperial fleet or Orc fleet or what have you, and it's fun to play.
Did you enjoy the pacing of Battlefleet Gothic more than Star Wars Armada?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Cool. Next question from Son of Ultramar. Hey Quirk, what do you think of Admech Skitarii? Also, I'd love to come down and have a game sometime.
They're dumb. They're dumb. The whole thing where the thing where they can be like, oh, once per game we can decrease our weapon skill but increase our ballistic skill, and doing stuff like that is dumb. I think they're really cool. I think the models look really cool. I think the playstyle looks really cool. Their lore is interesting. I don't like playing against them. I would like to play with them, but playing against them is terrible because they shoot orcs off the board.
Yeah. Next question from Vizara. Quirk, as the resident orc player, do you think "Come With Me Now" by the Congos makes a great wah song?
Yeah. Yes, it does. They already say war in it, and they say it almost like wah. So, yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
Death Nuggy? I love people's names. I'm assuming you're trying to say there's a loot crate out there for wargamers at War Game Supply.
I saw this comment and I actually pulled it up and looked at it. They're going in the right direction, but from some of the unboxing videos I've seen, I don't think you're getting... I'm not trying to bash them at all. I think they're doing a really good job, but I don't think you're getting what you'd expect from it. Like they have... The first box I saw came with like 2 mixing pots, a couple stickers, a miniature, a paintbrush, and an ink. And I was like, okay, that's cool to get like in the mail, but I guess the loot crate started off the same way too, where it was like, okay, here's a couple little nerdy things, and it was little doodads and whatnot, and now it's like, okay, here's a bunch of stuff that you can only get through loot crate, which is really cool. So if they go in that direction, I think it's a really good idea. I would recommend checking them out. It's Wargamer Supply?
War Games Supply.
War Games Supply, yeah.
Shepherd 13. Hey Quirk, there's a new Warhammer Total War computer game coming out soon. Is anyone in the office planning on playing this at all? If so, what faction are you going to play as first, or more excited to try? Love the content. Keep up the great work.
I think that's all you. You're the one who's most excited to...
I love Total War. I'm terrible at it, but I love it. So I'm getting a new computer. As of yesterday, I'm getting a new computer built so I can play it. So. I don't know. Is anybody else talking about joining in? I'm trying to get Steve to.
I was looking at it a little bit, but I'm terrible at RTSs to begin with. I looked at it. I like some of the like human races and stuff like that. They look really cool, but
dwarves.
Yeah.
Dwarves.
So
I don't
know.
Best
Maybe
part of the Total War games where they do black powder stuff is the cannons and all that. And all that. The sound effects.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. So
we'll probably check it out. But yeah, he's the most excited for it.
The Uninvisible Man 1. Hey Quirk, how do MiniWarGaming staff do in tournaments outside of MiniWarGaming? And are you allowed to use models from the office in said tournaments? I'd imagine that just having the resource pool of models is a big help.
Steve does really well. Steve has a huge army he has a couple different armies for 40k, so he doesn't have to really delve into the pool that we have here of miniatures. I don't. I'm working on my Ultramarines right now. Like, as we speak, I'm working on them. So, we do pretty good. The Age of Sigmar's tournament, it was Steve, Colin, and myself, and we placed first, second, and third. Whereas there was a 40k tournament not too long ago in Niagara Falls, and I did terrible. Steve did okay. Chris did, I think, pretty good. But it was a general tournament, so it was like it went by sportsmanship, how well you played, how well your army was painted, stuff like that. So I personally had some points docked on the painted thing because was open about it and said I didn't paint these, so don't give me credit for it. Steve did very, very well with his Necrons. We had to face each other turn 2, and he beat me. I barely rolled dice.
It's never fun.
No.
Mr. Steel Yo Grill. Quirk, I've been watching MiniWarGaming for quite a while now, but I've not gotten into the hobby yet. I've been thinking about starting to 3D print an army, probably Imperial Guard. I don't know when I'd have time, but if painted to tabletop quality, would a 3D printed army be something you would be okay playing against in a video?
From my knowledge, the general rule around here is that we don't play against like recasts and stuff like that. But that being said, like a lot of orc players have come in with their own custom things where it's like I think we've had a Stompa in here that was scratch built from like a soup can or something like that, or not soup can, a coffee can or something like that. So I guess in like small quantities we would allow it, but a full army that was 3D printed, probably not.
Well, I'm trying to think, because if it was 3D printed well, would we know the difference?
That's the other thing, is that we would have to be able to tell. But
and if it was so poorly done that you could tell the difference, then it wouldn't look good anyways. I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to 3D print it. I think to properly do it, I don't think you're going to save any money. But who knows?
Yeah, that'd be interesting actually.
I haven't seen any 3D printed minis yet. Any 3D printed Warhammer minis or Games Workshop minis. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the technology is to the point of being able to do that well.
Be interesting. Be interesting to see an army that was 3D printed.
Archon Black. Quirk. I have recently played a few different orc players and orc styles. One prefers the D3 shootaboys and cannons. Another was melee and mob oriented. Another one was mostly fast attack. Was wondering what you prefer and what do you find most enjoyment in playing?
Ooh, that's actually a good question. If you guys have seen my battle reports, you know that I like to kind of mix different aspects to it, but I find that by doing that, I take away from a lot of it. Like if I decide to do a little bit of fast attack, a little bit of the D3 shooters, and like maybe 2 squads of 30 boys, they don't do very well because it's spreading my resources too thin, or at least not putting as much punch behind something that's really... I'm not focusing on what's going to do the most damage. Personally, I like doing the fast attack. I like bikes, I like trucks, I like having things that can just fly across the board. I've played against a couple orc players who, one guy brought a very mech-heavy army, so it was a lot of very, like, not moving very much, shooting, but orc shooting isn't the most reliable thing in the world, so it wasn't that, like, deadly. But personally, I like to kind of mix everything together. I'll bring looters, so I got the D3. I'll bring like maybe some Meganobs, so I got that heavy hitting, like high armor. I'll bring the bikes. I'll bring mobs of boys with sluggers and choppers and just kind of mix it up with that. But I think the most fun I've ever had, there's 2 different games, 2 different armies that I've played that I've had a lot of fun with. One was just going very, very bike heavy. I think I brought all the bikes we had, which was like 40 of them. Mm-hmm. And then the one that I think I had the most fun with was bringing the Green Tide, because it's just 100 boys going across the field. But the thing is, that takes forever and a day to film. But it was probably the most fun I ever had, because it was just so many boys, and it was just like, okay, I have this one unit that's the size of half the board. Deal with it. So that was really fun. But that's probably what I prefer. Tournament-wise, don't take that. You'll clock out.
Makes sense. Next question, Angelus619. Hey Quirk, me and a friend just watched a bat rep of your orcs getting annihilated by Matt's Farside Tau. Will you ever recover after that greenskin failure and retry that battle with more boys? How much do you like the orcs?
That was a poor example of like orcs performing. That was Matt testing out the Farsight for the first time, and I think this was when Matt was on like a Quirk's My Punching Bag with Orcs kick.
Okay, yeah.
The door's closed, he can't hear me. He had a lot of fun with just playing against like my orcs and annihilating them. This was just after we finished the Orc Tau campaign. So I think he just felt the need to kind of unwind afterwards and just absolutely annihilate me. So he brought this new Farsight thing. He deep struck in behind me. He had a perfect lineup and just wiped me off the board. I actually had a lot of fun with that game.
Did you?
Even though I got absolutely like trounced. I don't know if that's the word I'm trying to use, but
I think that's appropriate.
Yeah, okay, but I just got absolutely wrecked there. But no, I had a lot of fun with that. I wasn't too upset that Matt absolutely destroyed me. He was apologizing a lot. He's like, I'm sorry that this happened. I was like, it's okay. I had fun. I didn't know you could do that. It was a lot. I said that a lot. I was like, I didn't know they could do that. On a scale of 1 to 10 for how much I like orcs, I'd have to put them at like a 6 or a 7. Aesthetically, they're not the most pleasing thing to me. Like, I like to look at orcs. I think it's fun to like mess around with them and stuff like that, but they're not the army. The thing is, I learned this a long time ago, is that orcs painted well and orcs painted terribly look the same.
Close enough.
Yeah. So for me, like I like painting as a huge part of the hobby, and the thing is, I can spend hours and hours and hours working on an orc model and put it next to one that you did in like 5 minutes, and it's like,
and they're pretty close.
They're pretty close. So it's like, okay, well, there's that. So I find it can't really be much of a showcase army. You can get some really cool stuff. Like you can do some. They're more of a scratch build army.
I was gonna say, do you feel it's more about the conversion?
It is. It's definitely more about the conversion work, and I'm not the greatest at converting, but I do like playing them because I'm not. My usual playstyle is glass cannon or glass hammer, where I have like an elite force that's really, really good at killing, but if they die, they're dead. If they get hit, they're gone. If they die, they're dead.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says that. Okay.
If they die, they're dead. Quirk, 2016.
Yeah.
But the thing that I really like is I like being able to take something like Space Marines and paint them up really, really well, and being able to see from like tabletop distance away that they're actually very well painted, whereas orcs, you can see them from any distance and they look pretty much the same.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's where they are for me. But I really like their playstyle. It's very fun to just throw 30 boys and be like, oh, I've lost 10. I don't even care. Here's 20 more. So I like that. That's fun.
Okay, another one. I'm not gonna try to say your name because I'm not gonna be able to pronounce it. I'm gonna paraphrase your question a little bit because it would take me too long to read. Would you be able to produce special bat reps where both sides take a little extra time to explain strategy and tactics? Target selection, why you're moving there, shooting order. Great way for new players to advance our gameplay.
I don't think you're paraphrasing. You're just skipping every other line.
I'm skipping every other. So basically, asking if we can almost kind of do a post game and splice in our thoughts at key points of the video.
Okay. So basically, what you're looking for is for us to basically go through and be like, here's why we're doing what we're about to do.
Yeah.
We can. The thing is, right now it takes a really long time for us to film a lot of our battle reports. Like, I think we're doing one 40K battle report a day because we're playing such high points, and it almost takes up a full day. For us to add that extra little thing in where we're going through and explaining everything, it's going to increase the time the battle report takes to film exponentially, because it depends on what we're doing and how much we want to explain what we're trying to accomplish. And the other thing is, it just, for people who are watching it, there's a lot of people that really just enjoy watching the battle report and seeing the battle take place. If we're cutting in every now and then and being like, okay, well, this unit of Space Marines are going to go to the right. I was going to go to the left because I wanted to go and try and take out this Dreadnought. Yep. But that Dreadnought's not as threatening as this Land Raid over here. So I think I'm going to go over to the right. And with the movement that I have, I should be able to get in the, like, you can see where this is kind of, it takes away from the experience of watching the battle.
It would be almost an editing nightmare.
It also, yeah, that'd be a huge editing nightmare for Rob.
It'd be cool, but I don't know if we currently have the resources to be able to do that at the quality level that we would want.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I'm sure we can try and work on something, but I don't think it's gonna come out the way that you're expecting it to, or at least hoping for it to. For smaller skirmish games, I think we'd be able to do it, but I don't think we'd be able to do it for 40K or anything like that. Any larger games where you have to take the time and get into it, it's gonna take more than a day for us to film that. So.
Next question for Quirk is from Moki. Quirk, you are hit by a meteor on the way to work and wake up with a superpower. What would you want it to be?
I know what I want. It would be one of two things, and I think I know which one it would be. One would be invisibility, just for just to mess with people. Because it'd be fun to just kind of smack you in the back of the head and then turn invisible. And you'd be like, who did that? And then just...
I would realize it was you, though, wouldn't I?
Yeah, as soon as you figure out I could turn invisible, you hit me back for every time you just unexpectedly got hit.
Yeah.
The other one that I would want, and it kind of works in the same way, is super fast speed to the point where it's almost like Quicksilver, where I just go so fast that time almost seems to stand still. But I have a feeling I would kill somebody doing that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would probably go for the Quicksilver speed. Just could be really, really
The
fun.
energy drinks, you're usually pretty high strung anyways.
You can at least understand what I'm saying, as opposed to Steve, who's just.
Yeah.
We don't know what you just said,
Swinging
Steve.
his arms around. Okay. Next question.
Next question.
Next is question from Random. As someone who's fairly interested in picking up a War Machine Hordes army, would you or anyone at MiniWarGaming consider doing a how to play video series for War Machine Hordes or even X-Wing? Threw an X-Wing at the end. I have been able to pick up on how most of the games work based on watch the bat reps. However, there's still a lot I don't quite understand.
Okay. I think we've done how to plays. I think Matt did a how to play War Machine a while back. Like if you search, like if you search in the MiniWarGaming search option, you'd be able to find it. I also think Privateer Press actually came out with one on YouTube. So those are two options. I would do a how to. It's just Matt's already done one, and at that point
they've done the how to X-Wing.
And yeah, they've done both. So now we're repeating content, and I don't think we really want to do repeat content. So.
Okay, Red Wolf 222. Hi Quirk, please do more Orky Bat reps. I would also like it if the MiniWarGaming Orc collection had a few new additions. It would be cool to see new Orc conversions. I'm sure you and Lee can mech up some awesome custom stuff.
What is with the timing that these people give us comments?
It's really kind of weird.
It's weird. We just got like three or four giant boxes of Orc stuff. So
Packed to the brim.
Lee's desk is currently like 90% Orc stuff right now.
Yeah, so we got another few thousand points of Orc stuff.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause, yeah, we've got a box that says Orcs, and then a
box that says more Orcs, and then a box that says, you guessed it, it's more Orcs.
So yeah, we picked up like another, probably like 3 armies worth of Orcs.
Oh yeah.
So
you're going to be seeing some new stuff coming down the pipeline, especially after Gorka Morka's done.
right. Well, with the Gorka Morka, there's going to be some conversions.
There's going to be some sweet conversions. As for the Orky Bat reps, I think there's a couple coming out, not this week, but next week, because I filmed a couple. The thing is that now that I've been playing Harlequins as well as Ultramarines, when guests come in, it's not like, okay, I want to play Quirk because it's just Orcs. It's, okay, what army would you like to play? Because I can play all 3 of these. And more often than not, guests are asking for like Harlequins because they don't get to play them very often, or Ultramarines because as like vanilla and general as they are, nobody really plays them, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
It's
It's
odd.
kind of oddball because it's been a while since I've seen a couple Ultramarines armies, but not that many.
No, they're few and far between.
But
like,
again, I wouldn't want to play them because everybody plays them.
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just like, okay, it's Ultramarines. Everybody plays them. It's like, no, they're on the box art.
They're the poster.
They're the poster boy
Yeah.
for Games Workshop, but you never see them.
No.
You go to a tournament, you never see Ultramarines. You go to like local hobby shops, you never see Ultramarines. You see everything but. You'll see Space Marines, but they're some different chapter. So.
Okay, next up, hi Quirk. How long have you looked like a Space Marine Scout from Advanced Space Crusade?
Who asked that question?
That same guy.
Oh.
Red Wolf 222.
Okay. 2 years now? I think. I don't know. It's the Mohawk, I know. I'm sorry.
Cogsrow. Quirk, we heard Steve's reply to the idea of getting you some old squat models, and I'm wondering what you'd think of working up some Xenos vehicles that normally have more guns than anything the Orcs would make of similar size.
Yeah. I feel like there was was that 2 questions or 1?
Well, it's more, yeah, because Steve wasn't enthusiastic about squats. So they want to know what you think about getting some Xenos vehicles that normally have more guns. Have you looked at any of the squat stuff?
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
So what do you think? Would you want to orcify the squat stuff?
Yeah, actually, that'd be pretty sweet.
Be some cool looking models.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, you see looted stuff nowadays, and it's all like looted wagons were just looted rhinos, looted. Like, it's all something relating to something from the Imperium. You don't very often see something that's like a looted Necron, whatever. And I was at Black Knight a long time ago, but I saw somebody had a what's the Necron flyer? The Croissant. the Night Scythe.
Oh, yeah.
It had the Night Scythe, but he had orcified it. So it was basically the hull, but he also slapped on a bunch of orky stuff there and had like orcs mid-teleport like falling out of the thing. I was like, that's amazing. And it was just like I think it was just a regular Dock-A-Jet. But it still looked really, really cool, and it had crazy amounts of guns. I was like, that's awesome. That'd be actually really cool. So it'd be neat to orcify some Xeno stuff. It's just you don't really see that very often.
No, not nearly as much.
No.
Next one, Coffin Bag. Hey, Quirk, I'm just starting to get into 40k, and I've decided to go with Lamenters. What do you think of the chapter and their history? I'm waiting for some airbrush parts to arrive before I paint them, as the nozzle on mine broke. What do you know about the Lamenters?
I am drawing a complete blank on the Lamenters.
Okay, hopefully I get the right one in mind. Blood Angels successor chapter, that's yellow.
Oh!
Bleeding Heart, I think.
Yes. Okay. I like I've never actually played against them, so I don't know what they're...
I don't know what the chapter tactics are.
No. Would they even have chapter tactics, or is it just going to be like regular Blood Angel ones?
I don't know if people would play those because I think the point of the Lamenters is they were trying to take the curse out of the Blood Angels. Like
Okay.
The
Yeah.
that. So I don't think they'd play like Blood Angels. They're just like bad luck Space Marines.
Yeah, I don't know enough to really answer that question effectively. I'm sorry, but I'm now curious. I'm going to look into it. So sorry.
It's a cool chapter. It's not one that you see done very often. It'd be cool to see somebody that was yellow and not Imperial Fists.
Mm-hmm.
The history, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where they currently stand with the history and the fluff for the Lamenters. Okay, next question. Toby Gaunt 89. Hey Quirk, just wanted to hear your opinion of the new Supremacy Tactical Objective cards released by GW and how they would affect your Orc army. Good or bad? Thanks and keep up the good work, Quirk.
I think they're really cool. I think they nerfed orcs a little bit. There's a lot of them now where it's like, they did and they didn't. There's a lot of them now where it's like you have to take over an objective that was previously controlled by somebody else, which is like, okay, that's not that difficult for orcs because they can just mob up and push somebody off an objective. And with objectives secured on boys and 30 boys, it's not hard to get around an objective. The ones where it's like, okay, you need to hold this objective for 2 consecutive turns. That's really difficult for orcs to do because they die to a strong breeze. So that one kind of makes life a little bit difficult. And then there's a lot of like the specialty ones where it's like you have to kill this particular thing or you need to roll on odds and evens. It feels very orky with like the odds and evens rolling and stuff like that, but I don't know. I think for everything that they took away, like they made it more difficult for orcs, they also made it a lot easier for orcs on other cards, so it's just going to come down to how you draw the objectives. But I like them. I like them a lot. It definitely adds a little bit more spice to the game. It definitely makes it less of a, okay, I drew objective 6. I need to get to objective 6. It's, okay, I need to hold objective 6 for 2 turns. So it's no longer I'm going to fly or drive this transport flat out and get on this objective and score it. It's, I need to get something over there and score it and then hold it for another turn. And it's the holding it for another turn that makes life really, really difficult. And it definitely opens up the possibilities for your opponent to actually deny you objectives as opposed to like the secure things. If you have a really fast army, there's no way for someone to stop you from securing things unless they're already on it.
Has it changed enough that you're going to change how you build your Orc armies?
No, not at all. I like the way the Orc armies are built, and I find that with the mix of fast and heavy and just blobs of boys, it plays very nicely into the supremacy tactics. So.
Okay. Next question, Gage H41. Hey Quirk, I love all the content that you do, and it is definite kudos to you and the team. You have definitely gotten me reading about War Machine, and I find it interesting, so thank you for that. Just a few questions, though. 1, when will we be getting your own personalized dice?
I think Steve's entitled to personalized dice before I am. I also need a symbol. I don't have a symbol. Steve's got his mountain, Dave's got the mark of Dave, but I think Matt needs one too. You would need one.
It's a big beard.
Big beard. It's a dwarf.
Oh, I'm gonna get those made.
Yep.
Wait, would yours be the Mohawk?
I think so.
How would that look, though?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe if there's somebody out there that could design a cool symbol for him. So,
If you can design a really cool symbol, email it to me at Quirk at MiniWarGaming.com. That'd be cool.
Get custom dice made.
Yeah. That'd be awesome, actually. But I think Steve is...
Yeah, Steve's boring.
No, but they were looking at getting some dice made for Steve a little while ago, like mountain dice.
Doesn't mean he's not boring.
That's true. You're not wrong.
Okay.
Steve's gonna kill us.
Whatever.
He's gonna kill me. He'll just ignore you. You're the same size as him.
I give him more flack than anybody else, and I just get ignored. I don't know why.
He'll insult Steve, and Steve will hit me out of spite.
Yeah. Okay, part number 2. Since the Grey Knights took a decent nerf with the newer codexes coming out, why don't you start one of their armies?
Probably will after we got that batch stuff. I got some Grey Knights in there.
Yeah, you did get a couple. You did get some Grey Knights.
Yeah.
And,
We had a guy come in and had a batch of old miniatures, and some of them were like the pewter Grey Knight Terminators, and I got 2 of those, so I might paint them up. But
I think I'll check for you too if you're doing Grey Knights, because I might have the original Grey Knight Terminators.
Really?
Like the original ones.
okay.
Or at least the librarian if he's still kicking around.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna hang on before you do the next question, but I like Grey Knights. They were one of my favorite armies back when I was still playing in 5th edition, and I loved their lore. I loved the playstyle that they had, and the thing was, I played them back when they were Demon Hunters. Hey Steve, Demon Hunters. If you ever want to bug Steve, call demons daemons, and he'll go ballistic. This will have to be the last question.
It's actually really true. It bothers him.
It bothers him so much. But they were the first ones that I played, and I played them back when they were Demon Hunters, and loved them, even though they didn't have a lot going for them. And then the new codex came out where they became Grey Knights, and they became amazing. Mm-hmm. And everyone called me a bandwagon jumper. I was like,
I've been playing them, yeah.
pewter. Everything I have is pewter, and like none of my guys are WYSIWYG, and all these new boxes started coming out. I guess I got a little bit upset with that because the new boxes came out, and I had bought I think 40 Grey Knight just Space Marines, but they were the pewter ones.
Just the regular guys, right?
Just the regular guys, and they were the pewter ones. And I went out and I got the blisters, so I had the side cannons and things like that. And they started coming out with these blisters where it was like, okay, well here's a box of 5 for like a fraction of the price, and you can customize them. I was like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just no fun when that happens.
No bueno.
Okay, number 3. Could you please give our club a shout out on MiniWarGaming in your vlog? We are the Flying Monkeys in Wichita, and a lot of us follow y'all religiously. Thanks so much, and of course, Ludus have 2 wounds. Haha, JK. Keep up the good work, and you're definitely my favorite wargamer besides Dave. Haha, sorry, he's the OG wargamer. So you asked for a shout out and then said he's not your favorite?
Really? No. But yeah, that's the time that we have. But yeah, I will definitely give a shout out. Hi guys from Wichita.
Flying Monkeys.
Flying Monkeys. There we go. I was trying to read the name, but you're like holding the sheet. Okay. I can't read it when you're.
That's the point. That's why I'm shaking it.
Where's my Nerf gun? But anyway, guys, that's it for the free portion of this week's Sit and Talk. As a quick reminder, next week will be Dave. So if you have any questions for him, put Dave at the beginning of your comment and then your question or comment for him, so that way he knows it's you asking him and not just a random comment. Vault members, go ahead and click the link below to get the other half hour of this Sit and Talk, where I answer more questions and, well, Josh reads more questions. He reads questions. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and happy wargaming.